Steve, episode 30 of the Broadway block. Been a little while, catching up on games, coming on a 3-game winning streak. Third in the standings with 21 points, only 1 point behind the Capitals and the Hurricanes. What are you liking about the season? What do you think the Rangers need to work on? And what are you looking forward to this week?
So you have a couple of those like really heartbreaking games, and heartbreaking in different reasons. Like you have the Oilers game where you really need to get out of there with 2 points. You have the Flames game where it's heartbreaking because you don't even look like you stand a chance against those guys. But then you have some efforts that kind of give you some inspired thoughts. The Devils game, I felt like last game we were just a little lackluster, whereas there were games where we went into overtime and really seemed to know, this is the time to take over. And just the amount of games that we've seen go into the extra period there really just shows kind of like the resiliency that the team has. For tonight, I feel like this is one of those early must win. This will show you what kind of a team that we are, because we have the Toronto Maple Leafs, a team that can show you kind of a bit like the Rangers, either a offensive, productive team that can kind of really crank it up on you, but can be a little bit defensively porous, or maybe we have a game against the Canadiens tonight where we're a bit like last game where we kind of play to the level and have to really claw to get a victory out. So hopefully we can sort of assert our dominance over a team like the Canadiens, really prove that we're a team that deserves to be sitting atop the Metropolitan Division. And against the Leafs, I would be looking at hopefully showing that we're one of those teams that can put up with the offensive firepower and kind of keep that defensive zone clogged up, in the neutral zone, because this is what you're looking for a playoff team. You don't play a bad game against a bad team. You don't lay an egg against a team that really doesn't deserve to be there, and you can prove to beat the teams that maybe have what it takes to beat you. So that's what I'm looking for.
Awesome. Really been excited about Chris Kreider. 7 power play goals in the last 14 games. You can't beat that. Ryan Strome in the Devils game, that was his 200th assist as an NHL player, and it was his 200th game. So that's great to see. We were talking before this about, we all talk about the Zibanejad trade as being one of the best trades, but getting Spooner for Ryan Strome, or Strome for Ryan Spooner, was, it's still paying its dividends. Been really excited how Igor's been playing. We definitely look like a different team when Igor's out there. It was nice that we were able to get him a break, and Georgiev was able to pull out that win for us. He showed up big in a shootout, which was, that was a shootout. So that was pretty exciting. I think exactly what you said. We're going to need going forward, like the games like the Oilers, not to get McDavid at the end and really kind of find a way to win in those tough ones. Looking forward to this game tonight. We're playing the Canadiens, and I think you said it correctly, where we don't want to play down to their level. They're still dealing with a lot of new players in, new players out, injuries, everything. So really got to show up big for this game. I'm hoping, obviously we're banking on Igor's coming back tonight for that. I think the break and in the game for the Devils, I think he could play he could play the next 3 games. We got the Canadiens, then we got Toronto, and then we got the Sabres. But obviously it depends on how things go. You could obviously maybe throw Georgiev out on Sunday for the Sabres game. I think we got to win all these close games, because we're playing in the Metropolitan where everybody's good. Like, we gave the Devils a point, but they're right on our heels. Flyers are right there. Still haven't replayed the Capitals, so that's going to be interesting to see. Next coming couple weeks, we have a lot of Metropolitan games. We're going to play the Islanders, who really haven't played up to what their standards were for the season, but it's a rivalry game coming up. So we're definitely going to be in some tough games coming up. So I think we're going to really have to show our resilience. Really hurt losing Sammy Blais to what looks like another of PK Subban's usual shenanigans, and took him out. So that's rough. Heedle's injury's been rough, but it looks like he's coming back. So it'll be interesting to see who really pairs up for that right wing spot. Other than that, Steve, what else? What do you think?
Well, just to touch on what you said, I mean, thank God Igor's injury wasn't serious after leaving in the game, after taking that knee up high, and Georgiev coming in relief for only a couple saves. But the play of Igor has been great, and like you said, we're a much different team with him in the lineup. And there's really, I just think a confidence that has over the team after a goal that's given up, kind of like prime Hank, where you feel like, there's somebody back there that can really make up for this, on top of the fact that he comes out and plays the puck and is really confident in doing so. So I think Igor brings a lot to the team, and to see him back to the lineup, hopefully he can pick up where he's been, because he's been absolutely stellar for us. The Ryan Strome trade, again, yeah, like you said, ranks very high on the Rangers from 2018 to now as far as goals, assists, plus minus. Really, he's third or fourth in any of those given topics. So he's been a quietly successful Ranger in his time here. And as far as how we measure up to some of these teams, you're right. The Islanders are one of those teams that have been maybe not performing the way that they have been. And if there's anything that as a Rangers fan, is that feeling of looking up in the standings and having teams like that sort of having the will to run away with some games and to create some distance in the standings. So it would be great to kind of be able to pull away a little bit from the Islanders and at least make it so that we can hold on to that spot, because I always feel like it's much easier to continue good play and to hold on to a spot than it is to try to like captivate one of those spots running down to the end of time there on the end of the season. And losing Sammy Blais, man, I hate to say it in this way. I hope it doesn't come off any type of way. He was playing really, really well. He's very injury prone over the course of his career. So I obviously wish him the best. I'm a Sammy Blais fan, but I do, in a weird way, looking forward to is the trigger word, of the first injury that happens over the year, because it always creates a spot, always creates some sort of chaos. And what does this mean for us? Shifting a winger, maybe Kako gets a little bit of a bump from his I think one of the best games of his career that we've seen the other night. Creates the play all by himself, makes a playmaking play over to Strome, and then finishes and capitalizes on it. So one of the better production-wise nights for him. I'd love to see him get rewarded. Maybe that means he gets bumped up to that slot. Looking forward, looks like he's going to be out for the season. So this is going to be one of those things. Does this entice Drury to make a move? What does this mean for Blais' next contract? Has he shown enough to warrant a new contract back? Obviously, there's not a lot of money to spend with the salary cap being the way it is. So lots of questions. And hopefully tonight we'll get a little bit of a glimpse of our lineups, and with a healthy Philip Hedl either returning this game or next, hopefully, maybe that can provide us some of that quick, because it was so fun to watch, Blais' hands and all the things that we really weren't told about.
Aggressiveness.
He really was showing, I think, in my opinion, a more well-rounded player than we got to see in St. Louis. And all the things that we knew about him coming into the season, has been so fun to watch him provide those other tantalizing talents. So that's about all I think we got for now. Definitely look forward to wrapping up some more games with you soon, Joe.
Appreciate it, Steve. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, brother.